tarot cards were invented by gypsies, not 14th century Italian aristocrats, like Google says. Now, tarot was invented by gypsies. Now, the next thing to understand is that the word gypsy comes from the word Egypt. Egyptian, gypsy, right? Now, Google will tell you that gypsies came from the lowest caste of people in India society. Now, of course, Google, known for its love of the spiritual truth, tells us that the gypsies came from India. But the word gypsy comes from the word Egypt. Fact of the matter is, gypsies are the offspring of the people of Chem, which is what Egypt was called before it was renamed Egypt by the Greek. So the word Egypt is a Greek word, and Egypt's a lot older than Greece. So what was Egypt called before it was renamed by the Greeks? And Egypt was called Chem, K-E-M or K-H-E-M. And the people of Chem were the Chemites. And they were thrown out of the country, not the Jews. The original people of that land were the Chemites from the land of Chem. And then the Hebrew kings, you know, the book of Kings in the Bible, the Hebrew kings invaded the valley and took it over, enslaved the native people of the land, which were the Chemites, the people of Chem, made them slaves, propped the Hebrew people propped themselves up as pharaohs, and enslaved the people of Chem. The pyramids were not built by slaves. They were there a long time before any of this. I'll tell you about all that. But the Exodus out of Egypt, which the Bible talks about in the book of Exodus, is a complete reversal of the truth. That's a good way to hide it, right? So it wasn't the Hebrews that left Egypt in the Exodus. It was the original people of the land who were enslaved by the Hebrews that left, and they became known as Egyptians, and then later gypsies, but they were really the people of Chem and the Chemites. We know for a fact that the three great patriarchs of the Hebrew religion were running the country. Moses was raised in the Pharaoh's house. Abraham married a Pharaoh's daughter. And Joseph was the Pharaoh's dream interpreter and later became second in charge of all of Egypt, upper and lower. So the three great patriarchs of the Hebrew religion, Abraham, Moses, and even Joseph, were deeply embedded into the Egyptian hierarchy. And if you think that Joseph, second in charge of all of Egypt, you know, the guy that interpreted the dream, 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine, correctly for the Pharaoh, if you think he was riding around on a donkey with some slave clothes on, you ain't thinking right. If he was in charge of all of Egypt, upper and lower, then he rode around in a gold chariot with the Pharaoh's emblem on it, and he was decked out in garb and attire worthy of his status, right? So the Bible was rewritten by the Hebrews to hide the theft of what the tarot knowledge and the tarot cards are telling.